Okay, in this little lesson, I'm going to discuss backstitching. So on every machine, unless it's a really old machine, you'll get the function of backstitching or being able to sew in reverse. So on this machine, it's got that ubiquitous U-turn sign, and when you press it in, the machine is literally going to sew backwards. Okay, so normally when you start sewing, the machine will take the sewing and feed it away from you. Now I'm going to demonstrate what I mean by backstitching. So backstitching is going to make so that every time you join two pieces of fabric together or you stitch anything, that when you stop and start with a backstitch, the threads are going to be locked in place. They're not going to unravel with time. And on your machine, you'll notice most of the time you'll have to hold the button down for the machine to go backwards. And you'll notice I'm going to hold with my left hand thread, I'm going to hold the threads. So I'm going to go backwards 2-3 stitches, and then I'm going to go forward over my stitches, and I'm going to sew on the blue line, and I'm going to keep looking at where the blue line ends, and then I'm going to stop by doing the same thing as I did when I started. And this way, when I now take out my sewing, okay, I can cut the threads right there. I can cut it right at the stitch, the front and the back. And this way we don't have to work away the threads, and the seam will be durable. It's not going to come undone, and you'll have a very neat project, because by the end of your project you'll have no extra threads hanging all over the place, and it will look very neat and tidy like this. Okay, so that's our backstitch. You can practice doing this by drawing lines like this on your cotton fabric with your blue water soluble marker, and you can start about 1/2 centimeter to 3 millimeters from where you're sewing, and you're going to start by reversing. So remember, always hold down the button and then put your foot on the pedal, and then take your hand off the button. Okay, and you'll see I've marked all the lines, so you can practice until you get really good at this. It takes a while for people to get used to the hand-eye coordination skills that are required. Just practice, just don't give up, do a little bit every time, and before you know it, these will be kind of second nature habits. What last thing I'll say about the backstitching and the buttons, so if it's a very fancy machine, you'll sometimes get the option of holding the button down by pressing something on the machine, and it will hold it in place for you so that you have your hands free to do more complex things. So the higher up in the sort of food chain of sewing machines, as it were, you'll see there will be more functions for the backstitch button to be held down in place automatically, or you can select it or deselect it. On this machine, we have to hold it down. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson on backstitching. Good luck.